بسم الله إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا ومن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. All praise and gratitude is for Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth. We seek his aid and his assistance and ask his forgiveness, and we seek refuge in Allah from the evil of our souls and from the evil of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, none can lead astray, and whomsoever he leads astray, none can guide. I testify that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah. He is alone and has no partners. And I testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his slave and messenger. Brothers and sisters, we are soon approaching the blessed month of Ramadan, inshallah, this coming week. I ask Allah that gives us the opportunity and the blessing to reach this blessed time of this year, inshallah. Ameen. Now, this is a time where we as Muslims look forward to, and where people of other faiths or people that may not understand are kind of confused or not clear of the concept behind Ramadan. Which today's Khutbah or sermon is titled Ramadan. Why? Ramadan may be seen as a month of fasting, or for some they may coin as our month of worship or sacrifice. But I hope, inshallah, God willing, that we as an ummah or as a Muslim community, we can demonstrate to something deeper than what meets the eye. We as Muslims sometimes telling our families during this month that, you know what, I'm okay with lunch today, I'm fasting. That may be strange. They wonder, why, or I could never do that, or why would someone put themselves through this? And we may go into, well, this is the reasons, or sometimes we'll mention, a practical approach towards the reason, or the benefits behind fasting. Right, so I'm sure some of you have heard about these, the craze of all these fitness plans and diet plans. One, that's popular is the ketogenic diet. Another one that's gaining a lot of popularity that I've actually implemented is the intermittent fasting diet. And there's research found that intermittent fasting can improve your digestive system, your brain functionality, increase energy, and even improve social behavior. In fact, intermittent fasting can help you live longer. Further studies have found that subjects undergoing specific fasting demonstrate lowered levels of LDL cholesterol and anxiety, two risk factors that develop cardiovascular or heart disease. SubhanAllah, this is amazing that the wisdom of Allah in prescribing fasting for us centuries ago, and we're just now discovering so much benefit. Science is just now catching up. And Ramadan is precisely that. It's a prescription for us. But as many of you know, and maybe a bit of a cliche, but shouldn't go without being said, that Ramadan is not only a month of fasting or abstaining from the basic necessities for us as human beings. It is much deeper than that. Allah tells us in his book, in Surah Baqarah, in the 185th chapter, 185th verse, Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed as a guide for humanity with clear proofs of guidance and the standard to know right from wrong. Whosoever of you are present, let them fast the month of Ramadan, and whoever is sick or traveling, let him fast the same number of days after Ramadan. Allah intends ease for you, not hardship, so that you may complete the prescribed period and proclaim the greatness of Allah guiding you, and perhaps you will be grateful. So taking a step back, we must recognize that Islam has been given to us as a gift from Allah. We have the guidance of the Quran and the example of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on how to live out this beautiful way of life. So why not share with others around us? If it's such a solution for mankind, it can solve so many ills in society, why keep it to ourselves? Sometimes this word da'wah can weigh heavy on some of us, like it's this huge mission that only someone that's very knowledgeable can carry out, telling someone of another faith about Islam. Or it takes a lot of courage or bravery to go and stand on a corner somewhere and just engage with people and share a little bit about Islam. But I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, it is critical that we share who we are as Muslims here in America with those around us. The Institute for Social Policy and Understanding, where Dalia Mugahid is the Director of Research, conducted their 4th annual poll of American religious communities, which has key insights and analysis into the attitudes and policy preferences of American Muslims, Jews, Catholics, Protestants, white evangelicals, the non-affiliated, and the general public. For the 2nd year, in partnership with Georgetown University's The Bridge Initiative, they tracked the National Islamophobia Index, measuring how much the public endorses anti-Muslim tropes. Among the 3 main racial groups examined, Hispanic Americans scored the lowest on the Islamophobia Index. Houston has a Hispanic population of over 44% of the total population in the city of Houston and over 18% nationally. Hispanic Americans are 5 times as likely to hold favorable opinions of Muslims versus a negative opinion. 51% have a positive opinion about Muslims. That's higher than white Americans at 33%, and the majority of white Americans have no opinion. They're at 40%. Black Americans hold positive opinions of 35%, but the majority have no opinion at 51%. So that opens a door for more positive engagement with this community. The majority of those who don't know Muslim say they have no opinion about Muslims. That's 54% of the American population. The biggest improvement from simply knowing a Muslim increases from a 21% favorable opinion to 47%. So by just knowing a Muslim, not necessarily being a close friend, dramatically improves the perceptions of Muslims as a group. So what does that mean for us? What good is this information? We're talking about Ramadan here. What does this have to do with anything? Allah prescribed for us different forms of purification or opportunities to increase our will and our level of consciousness. Right? We have the daily salah. Every day, between salah, we have opportunities to return to Allah, repent or ask for forgiveness. We have Jummuah, like this day, every week. From week to week, we get a reminder, and I hope that this serves as a reminder for myself first, and inshallah to benefit you all. And every year, we have the month of Ramadan. And in our lifetime, at minimum, we hope that we may be invited to Allah's house and make Hajj. And Allah grant us the opportunity. Amen. So focusing on Ramadan, the goal of Ramadan is not just abstaining from food or water. That's only a small portion of what Ramadan is for. The purpose of Ramadan is to have a deeper connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we can leave off basic necessities as human beings for the sake of Allah, then our will to leave off bad habits will increase, while at the same time hoping to develop good habits. Ramadan is a spiritual boot camp. You remove bad habits and develop good habits. And we slowly work on doing things for others, just to take advantage of this blessed month and potentially multiplying our good deeds. So imagine helping someone on the side of the road or at work or at school. You go a little bit out of your way to assist someone. Even just a smile. We all know the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he says that smiling is an act of charity. So doing these small things, not just for our brothers and sisters in Islam, but for people in general. They may think to themselves, wow, that person really didn't have to go out of their way to help me or to make me feel a certain way or to help my situation. But you never know that one act of kindness may lead that person to become curious and ask you, why? Where does this come from? People don't normally go out of their way, or where does this behavior come from? And that is where we have the opportunity, brothers and sisters, to fill that gap from the ISPU research and improve the perception of Muslims in America by simply being available and present. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa min wala. It is within our deen to do these acts of kindness, to contribute to our communities, to inshallah be a shining light of positivity in society. That Islam is what guides us to be good people, to collaborate with one another, no matter what race, gender, religion one is, not for the sake of just doing something good, but because we know who we're dealing with in Allah and the way of life He has given us. We hope that when people find out we're Muslim, that they can associate us to be good-hearted people that live with compassion for others, not as this mysterious group that double parks on Fridays and they're always rushing in and out of work on these days and filling up the streets and things like this. But to show up at neighborhood events, to be involved in community activities, to contribute to our neighborhoods, to our cities, inshallah, to our country. Being kind to others is free for us, but the compensation comes from Allah. And what better time to recondition ourselves than during this blessed month of Ramadan? Allah knows we need this, not just for ourselves, but to realize that by improving ourselves, we can better others around us. Many times, Islam is simply translated into just peace. But it's much more than that. Islam is a way of life. In the Arabic language, deen is a way of life, or a way of living. And so if someone lives out their life based on the guidance of Allah and the example of His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you will have a life filled with peace. By us being good Muslims, that may influence others to look into Islam, and inshallah, they may be guided to a life of peace. As the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, anyone who is guided to Allah through you is better than anything in this world. So may Allah allow us to plant as many seeds as possible within those around us and those who may cross our paths. Inshallah, we hope that this Ramadan be the one that helps us become better representatives of Islam, that we develop better character that then gets embedded into our children, who grow up with people in society that can see Islam from its true nature, so that instead of people asking Ramadan, why? We can make an impact that changes that statement to Ramadan, why not? May Allah make us parents of those generations to come who will create a thriving society in harmony with one another, such as the example of Al-Andalus, a golden age of Islam. May Allah accept all of our worship, fasting, grant us deeper understanding of His book. May Allah ease the struggles of our brothers and sisters around the world. May Allah guide all of our friends and family to this beautiful way of life. And may Allah grant us all Jannat al-Firdaus. Ameen. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. قامت الصلاة.